Hi, my name is Michelle McCoy, and today we are talking about the 7 stages of grief regarding the loss of a loved one. I have had a lot of personal experience with death. I recently lost my grandfather, which was an expected death, but I've also had unexpected death in my family with the loss of my sister's newborn twins. Roxanne Dryden Edwards wrote an article on medicinenet.com addressing the 7 stages of grief. The first stage she addressed was shock. With expected death, shock is not as intense because you have had time to emotionally prepare for the death. With unexpected death, your whole world in 1 minute turns upside down, so the shock takes a little longer. The second stage is denial, and with denial, you're basically not confronting any emotions. You're acting as if nothing ever happened, nothing changed, no death happened. The third stage would be bargaining. Bargaining is the briefest stage. Basically what it is you're trying to exchange your fate for another fate. It's very common when a parent is losing their child, you say, I wish it would have been me. I wish I would have been the one sick. I wish it would have been me that's going through chemo. And the next stage is guilt. With expected death, you experience guilt as, I should have taken him to see more doctors. I should have gotten a second opinion. With unexpected death, it's, I wish I would have not let him leave the house with him being that drunk. So in both of those, you're constantly questioning your actions. You're constantly saying what if for expected and unexpected. In Dr. Phil's latest book, Real Life, Preparing for the 7 Most Challenging Days of Your Life, he said, if you realize that a day has gone by when you didn't think about your loved one, which may or may not happen in time, you may feel guilty that you're forgetting them. If it takes a short amount of time to recover from a loss, it doesn't mean you loved a little. The depth, the breadth, and the longevity of your grief are a reflection of how much you cared about the person. The next point is anger. Anger can be directed towards anybody. You might be angry towards the doctors or the hospital for not doing everything you think they should have done. You might be angry with the family members because you think they might or should have been there more than they actually were. You might be angry with yourself, which then takes you back to all the feelings you felt when you were feeling guilty. The next person you might be angry at is the person who passed away for abandoning you or for not taking care of their health while they actually were here. The next point we are going to talk about is depression. Depression sets in when you realize the person is finally gone forever. If it's a spouse, you might feel like you can't live without them. If it's a parent, especially if you're a young child, you might feel like your parents abandoned you. If it's your child you've lost, you might feel like you have absolutely nothing in this world left to live for. If you're unsure if you are going through depression or not, the common reactions that NASA identified in the effective stress management material is overwhelming sadness, inability to concentrate or focus, inability to sleep or oversleeping, loss of appetite or over appetite, and fatigue. The next stage, and I feel is one of the most important, is acceptance. Acceptance is a hard stage to get to, but once you've reached it, you're at that point when you can start to move forward and on with your life. If you've lost a child, you can be grateful for that time that you did have with your child. And if you have other children, they can then begin to rely on your strength. If you've lost a parent, you might be able to step back and cherish their memories and take those life lessons that they gave to you and apply them to your life. If you've lost a partner, you can embrace everything you experienced with them, your children, your grandchildren. And then you can realize that it's okay to be happy even if they're no longer in your life. If you ever find yourself stuck in one of these stages, you can always seek your family members, or you can go outside to different centers, different counselors, different therapists. I highlighted 3 different strategies you can do. The first, the Miami Herald highlighted group counseling, where you can actually meet with people. This particular group is spousal. If you've lost your spouse, it's very common for people to sit around and to talk about their feelings in order to help each other address different emotions and move forward. The next is Crossroads Counseling Center here in Miami. They actually take workshops, and they can do one-day workshops or weekend workshops, and they are intense workshops that make you dive deep down emotionally It's sort of to help jumpstart you into whatever next stage. The next stage is the next center is the Child Bereavement Center. This I find most important because if you have a child that's experienced a loss, it's important to get them out of one of these stages because you don't want them growing up in the stage of anger or the stage of depression. Children counseling when they experience loss is crucial. I'm going to end with this quote from Dr. Barrett from the magazine article, How to Cope with the Loss of a Loved One. There is no time limit on grief, she says. The process of grieving takes time. It can take years sometimes, depending on the attachment and the bonding. It's a very individual and personal thing. We must accept that and be patient with ourselves. Thank you.